I had this food blog that I had called Stellar Health. And so I was creating recipes, sharing them on Instagram at the time and my blog. And I had these nutrition clients who just kept seeing my recipes and going, oh, would you just cook for me? It would just be so much easier if you would cook for me. And so having zero business experience at all, I was like, okay, how hard can it be? I'm just going to start cooking for people.
Could I hire you?
Yeah.
Is this
So I wanted them to feel like empowered. Oh, I can do this too. I can make healthy food that tastes delicious at home.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Basem Hanna podcast. Today, I'm very excited to have another wildly successful female entrepreneur, Stella Vanstone. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Stella and her co-founders started a company called Stellar Eats. I'll let Stella do a much better job of introducing herself and her business, and then we'll get into some questions and get to know you a little better.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for coming.
My name is Stella Vanstone, and I am one of 3 co-founders of Stellar Eats, which currently makes healthy baking mixes. So baking mixes made with only real ingredients like almonds, dates, coconut, and we're currently sold at over 2,000 retailers in Canada and the US. We sell online.
Wow.
Online retailers, Amazon, our own website, and it's been quite a journey over the last 4 years. It was sort of a pandemic business when everyone was baking at home, and it's really taken off since then. So
Right.
I'm excited to chat about the
It's
journey.
crazy. 2,000 stores, eh?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
been wild.
let's start from the beginning. And by the way, just like a little caveat here, in those 4 years, you've also been busy on the personal
Yes, I've
front
had
as
2
well.
children, which
Yeah.
is wild.
So just like,
Yeah, busy all around. So I'm a holistic nutritionist. That was my background. I always loved food and cooking, but unfortunately, when I was a teenager, I struggled with an eating disorder for quite a few years. And
Sorry, can I ask what kind?
yeah, it's funny to label them now.
We get deep into...
If I had to label it, it was a form of anorexia. So I was just like really, I think it all comes from control. So
Okay.
I think I was really, probably a teenager feeling out of control. It was sort of the one thing you can control.
Right.
And being type A, it just became this fixation. And so it was this really sad journey because I always loved food and cooking. Food was something that brought me together with my mom and my grandmother and my family. And it was always this really beautiful thing for me, cooking. And so, I was trying all these different diets. And as I was coming out of my eating disorder.
And how old were you when this happened?
Probably between the ages of like 14 to 17 was the
God.
worst of it. And then in my 20s, I, came out of it. I was healing my relationship with food and myself, but I still had these probably residual things stemming from the diet culture that we all grow up with, where,
Right.
especially for young women at the time, all health food was marketed to me as this is skinny. This
Right.
is a flat tummy tea. This is light. Everything that was about how you look and nothing about how you feel.
Right.
And so it was this really funny moment where I was in my early 20s and I decided to try the paleo diet because it was like all the rage at the time. And what ended up happening was I just stopped eating all this low calorie processed food and I started eating a lot of protein and vegetables and nuts and seeds. And it was this aha moment where I started to feel amazing. And it sounds so silly now looking back, but I was like, oh, people eat healthy for reasons other than just looking skinny. They
Right.
actually feel way better. So it was this unlock for me. And then that sort of started my journey into the holistic nutrition profession because I got so excited to share that passion with others and from a lens of, empowerment and making food that actually tastes good. And it's not 10-calorie Jell-O packs and all these things that just, taste terrible and make you feel bad. So that was really why I got into nutrition to begin with.
Right. Okay.
So I went to school for holistic nutrition. And then when I graduated, I had this food blog that I had called Stellar Health. And so I was creating recipes, sharing them on Instagram at the time and my blog. And I had these nutrition clients who just kept seeing my recipes and going, oh, would you just cook for me? It would just be so much easier if you would cook for me. And so having zero business experience at all, I was like, okay, how hard can it be? I'm just going to start cooking for people. So I literally started to make meals in my home kitchen, and this is kind of illegal, but I was making meals in my home kitchen and delivering them around Toronto.
It's not illegal.
I guess like not commercial kitchen at the time.
Oh, whatever.
But so, and I was making, you know, things like almond flour crusted chicken tenders and sweet potato fries and all these things that were like decadent.
You still cooking?
Food.
Could I hire you?
Yeah.
Like, is this like?
I love it. All the recipes are just sitting on my computer somewhere. But yeah, it was really fun. And I truly had no business experience. We joke now.
How old were you when you did that?
So I was 23 when this started. And, you know, we joke now that I truly didn't know anything. Like I set our pricing based on a vibe. I didn't understand margins. I was like, yeah, $12 sounds good. You know, so just insane. And
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. And it started to grow quite a bit. I was making like hundreds of meals a week and kind of quickly outgrew my home kitchen. And so at the time, my cousin, Michelle, had just had a baby. And so she started ordering meals from me. And she had successfully exited a company prior. So she was at home, not working at the time with this baby, getting meals from me. And one day asked me, you know, can I help you? And I was like, yes, I have literally no idea what I'm doing. I can make the recipes. I can, you know, do the marketing, but from a business standpoint, I'm kind of lost. And so she came in and really helped me develop, you know, the finance model, like sourcing wholesale ingredients, figuring out commercial kitchens and really running the operations of it. So the two of us grew the company it was called Stella Eats. The meal delivery was called Stella Eats. And we grew it to be, you know, 5 employees. We were in a commercial kitchen making hundreds of meals a week. And I think at that point, we just started to look at each other and go, are we really going to build something that's a meal delivery business? Like, are we going to compete with HelloFresh? Because margins, as you know, in food, prepared food are so slim. We were organic. We were paleo. Like there were all these things that made us great, but it was so expensive.
I believe that. Yeah.
And so we sort of had this in the back of our mind and we were thinking about, you know, we really like working together. How could we change this business? And the third co-founder, Emma, got involved at this point. So she was working in marketing. She was scrolling Indeed, and we knew each other from high school. We literally went to high school parties together. And she saw a listing on Indeed for Stella Eats meal delivery for literally just kitchen help. Like I was just looking for a chef, basically.
Right.
And she texted me and went, "Is this real? Like, should I quit my job and come work with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, quit your job." So Emma came in and she was making the meals in the kitchen. I was still creating the recipes and doing some of the marketing. And then Michelle was doing the operations. And I think the three of us kind of looked at each other and went, okay, we have something special between us as founders or as a team. And this might not be the business, but what could be. And we really felt like we wanted, for me, it was always really important for me to feel like people could do it themselves. I never really liked just dropping meals on people's doorsteps. I wanted them to feel like empowered. Oh, I can do this too. I can make healthy food that tastes delicious at home. And so that was really where the idea for baking mixes came from. And we literally, with $6,000 in our bank account, we just ceased all operations on the meal delivery, and the three of us decided to pivot the business to be Stella Eats.
Wow. Okay, I have a transition question. It's easy to say I stopped the business and I went into another one, but like, what's it like sending that email? Because I've had to wind down. Like we used to do property management, completely different thing, but like I had hundreds of clients, and then one day we're like 4 years ago, we're like, okay, we're done with this business. It's not really what we want to do right now. We have to wind it down, and you have to communicate, and like it's a process that like how was that for you?
That is such a good question. I don't know if I've ever really reflected on that part of it. It was really sad. There was a lot of tears involved. And I remember, even though it felt like this new beginning, there's obviously some feelings of failure wrapped up in it. And so
it's like you're breaking up with your people.
Totally. And these people that relied on us to give them their weekly lunches and dinners every single week. So sending that email was really sad. I think I was pretty transparent with them. I think we've always been, that's sort of like our thing, is we're very honest about our journey. And so I think I told people like, hey, we're stopping this, but this is what it's turning into. So you haven't seen the last of us. And I think they were all excited because they could still get some of the flavor and the company and the brand within, you know, this new venture.
Okay. So transition's done.
Yeah.
And you got 6,000 in the account. You do. And so what was the first product?
So we made a cookie mix.
Okay.
We made a pizza dough mix. We made a chocolate cake mix. And we made this is super random, a biscuit and scone mix because I really wanted to make a bagel.
Okay.
And every time we made the bagel mix, we kept tasting it and going, this just tastes like a buttery biscuit or something like that. And so we ended up just launching with those 4 products. And I think we had enough money to print our first round of stickers, buy the first white bags that we hand stickered, every single one, front and back, bought the first round of ingredients, rented the commercial kitchen in off hours, because a lot of these commercial kitchens, you know, they use them during the day. So if you want to get a cheaper rate, you can go in at like 10 p.m. onwards. So we arrived at 10 p.m. to this commercial kitchen in the middle of summer heat with literally boxes of almond flour, huge mixing bowls, giant whisks. We thought we were going to hand mix these products.
Come on.
It's probably the most unhinged thing we've ever done. Giant whisks. And we arrive and we are just in this kitchen trying to make all these products. And we had $0 in our account after all that, you know, that first investment. And so we left.
But you made your first batch of...
We made our first batch of product. And we left feeling so defeated because hand mixing, hand pouring, baking mixes is just not it. So we left, I think it was 3 a.m. All of us are covered in chocolate and almond flour and tears and just, you know, standing in the dark being like, okay, we did it. We made the first
step
batch.
1 done.
So, and then we were like, okay, we have to go sell this now because that's the only way we're going to be able to buy more ingredients.
Did you get the margins right though this time?
We got the margins right this time. Thanks to Michelle. So yeah, got the margins right, had the product made. Emma and I literally baked cookies and drove them around to grocery stores in Toronto and went in and went, who buys this stuff in
who's
here?
Your buyer?
And they were like, the buyer. We're like, cool, can we talk to the buyer? The buyer would come out, we'd say, here's a cookie, can you please try it? This is a picture of the product. Would you consider carrying it? We're a local brand. And we were super lucky because Fiesta Farms in Toronto, Summerhill Markets, and Cocoa Market, which are still some of our best accounts, those stores took us just right off the bat.
Oh, amazing.
And that was the start of it. So we just started continuing that process.
And so, like, I wanted, for the geeks in our audience, myself included, like, I want to get into like the numbers and try to understand like what it looks like, because scaling is not a like direct path. Like it's like slow, and then all of a sudden it's like this, and then it comes down, you know, like, so what was that like for you? So you that first batch of products, do you remember how many packages you made?
I think we had 1,000.
Okay, so you make 1,000 packages. How long does it take you to sell them?
So I think we sold through them in about 2 months. Okay. 2 or 3 months. And then
the reorders.
And then, started to get reorders. And honestly, we were really pigeonholed by our own hands. Like the fact that we were hand mixing, hand pouring everything, it was just such an inefficient process. And it wasn't even like it was hard, but you know when you're just doing something and you're like, this is killing me, because the hand stickering every bag, the hand pouring everything. And then, you know, we found a commercial kitchen that had a massive mixer. So at least it was being mixed properly, but we were still hand pouring every bag. And so we started looking for co-packers because we got really good advice from the beginning. Someone said to us, you have to decide now, are you a food manufacturing company or are you a sales and marketing company? And all of us were like, we are sales and marketing. We do not want to build a facility. For now. That's not what we would like to do in the next 3 years, you know? So, or the foreseeable future. And so we started to look for co-packer facilities at this point. Okay. And we found one in Etobicoke. They do dry powder blends. They bag it and mix it and bag it for us. But, you know, we were making 400 at a time, maybe 1,000 at a time when we would go into the kitchen, and their minimum was 10,000 units.
Right.
So that's a big jump.
So you first is you hand mixing, then you find a bigger kitchen where you're not hand mixing, but you're hand packaging, and you create. And how long did you spend in there? How many orders or batches did you make in that second kitchen?
In the second kitchen, we were probably there twice a week, making about between 400 and 500 every time. And we were there for probably 6 months. We were there. Okay. And then I think we started to.
And by then, where are your sales? Like just to. So you're not just at those 3 stores anymore?
No, I think we were probably in about 30 stores.
And still just door knocking?
Still door knocking.
Okay.
Door knocking, but I think now we're starting to see that there's some potential here to get into, you know, slightly larger chains. Like obviously we're not going to Loblaws with hand pouring bags, but you know, there's Healthy Planet. There's these chains that are, you know, 30 stores. And we start to also think a little bit about the US and we just start to think about, you know, where could this go? And we're not going to get it there. Hand mixing, pouring. So we decide to outsource to a co-packer. And I remember it was so funny when we were making the product and you're so excited to hold it. And I remember with Emma and Michelle, you know, designing the packaging and being like, I can't wait till we're just holding our cookie mix. Like, I can't wait to just hold it. And then by the time we were done, I was like, I can't wait to never touch this product again. I do not want to touch this bag. Whenever I see hand stickered bags in the grocery stores, I always buy it. Like, I know the effort that went into that.
I'm the same with when I was young, I used to sell boxes of chocolates. Like that was how I made money in the summer. Amazing. Or like anyways. So anytime I see a kid, I buy their entire box of chocolates because I'm like, I know, I'm like, buddy, like the hustle. I'm like, first of all, I'm like, the skills you're learning right now, the sales skills, they will help you in your life. I'm like, but
that's awesome.
Game recognizes game.
It's so nice to pay it forward.
Or somebody that does door to door, because I used to do that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's
all the crappy jobs. Yeah, all the crappy jobs.
I know, you need it. You need to do that. Like for us too, that door knocking has helped us. Pitching those buyers has definitely helped us pitch the big ones and make that so much less scary. Yeah. So we outsourced production to this co-packing facility and they made 10,000 units. And I have never been more terrified going to bed because I just remember being like, how are we going to sell?
You have 10,000.
We have 10,000 units to move. What are we going to do? And up until this point, we were probably selling, I want to say around 2,000 units.
And sorry, forgive my ignorance, but I'm actually very interested in this business model. But when you do the 10,000, they're sitting in your co-packer's warehouse until you send them to somewhere, or you then have to take them and store them in your basement or something?
So my mom's house was our warehouse when we were hand mixing, hand pouring. But when we outsourced to a co-packer, we also had to get a larger 3PL facility like a fulfillment.
And then you're just distributing from there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So they have it stored in pallets and then they ship it to, you know, our Shopify orders, our D2C orders, and then also our, you know, at the time, just our retailers.
Were you selling online at that point?
Yes. At this point, we started to sell online as well. And it was crazy because I think we did that run. And then within 2 to 3 months, we were almost out of product. Wow. Purely because we had the time to be able to just focus 100% on selling. Right. And it was really cool. I remember being really, you know, that was a moment I was like, we were so proud of because we were like, how are we going to do this? And then
you leveled up, right? Like you've freed your time to do the more value add.
Yeah. And then something really cool happened. This is kind of going more into like product market fit because we initially launched being like, we're just going to be, you know, we're going to make a classic baking mix line. So kind of comparable to a Betty Crocker or what have you. And we then launched a banana bread mix. And this banana bread mix, we were a little unsure of because you have to add ripe mashed banana to it. Whereas all the others were very comparable to, you know, oil and water in a bowl, like very, very simple. So we launched this banana bread and I think within a month, it was our top selling product.
Wow.
It made up 40% of our sales. It just skyrocketed. And I think a big part of that was because it's so much more of an everyday baking item, where it's not chocolate cake where people are making it once a year on a birthday. Banana bread made with clean ingredients, that's what parents want to make their kids after school, or you can make on the weekend, or you bring as a hostess gift or whatever. It was really interesting to see. And so that really took us, I think, to the next level. And that was sort of what opened up the door to the US for us.
Okay. So we're in the manufacturing, the co-manufacturing. You have a 3PL space. I'm guessing you're doing multiple 10,000 order runs, if not more by now.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. Where is your business in terms of like how much is getting direct to consumer and how much is going into the stores, like percentage wise? And where are you at in terms of like volume per month?
So at this time, I think it was probably a split of about 10% D2C, 90% retail.
So it's all going through
We're
the stores.
still more weighted heavily in retail.
Right.
We're not really as much a D2C.
I mean, if I'm buying anything like what you're selling, I'm going to the store.
Yeah, I think especially for online food products, it's definitely a steeper climb to be a purely D2C brand. But at this time, you asked volume at this time, I think probably doing around $5,000 or $10,000 a month in revenue. Like it was.
And that's how many packages?
$10 a.
Oh, okay. So like 500 to 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I think at this point, I know our kind of yearly ends more than the monthly, but I think at this point we started to really look at, grocery being such a volume game, and you need to start looking at those larger retailers, those mass retailers. But at this point we're in, smaller indies, we're in the smaller chains. And we get an email from Erewhon Market in Los Angeles, if you're familiar with them. They're a very high-end grocery chain. Celebrities do a lot of like smoothie collaborations with them, and they're just sort of the mecca. And they sent us an email being like, "We want your product."
Oh, wow.
And we were not.
How did it get there?
How did it get there?
Yeah,
I will never know.
God knows.
And we got it, and we thought we were being pranked. We were like, someone is messing with us right now. There's no way. And we weren't quite ready to go to the US. We still had French and English on our packaging. Like we were getting ready, but we weren't quite there yet. And we always say, when Erewhon Market reaches out, you get ready. So we basically printed US packaging and figured out how to ship product across the border, got a US fulfillment center. And at this point, we also have some distributors involved in the network. So, it's gone from us hand mixing and hand pouring and delivering it to stores to now we have these larger distributors that have a catalog of products that they carry. So we're mostly selling to our distributors now, and they're selling to stores.
Okay.
So now we have a Canadian distributor, we have a US distributor selling to Erewhon Market, and then we start to get some other chains in California. So this is 2022, and we're starting to, grow in the US.
That's crazy. During COVID,
kind of as COVID, I know it's not like over, down. But people were kind of coming out more in 2022. So, but yeah, we went to, I think we launched at Erewhon late 2021 when, things were still really locked down here and things were a bit more open there. And we went to LA for the launch. And I remember it feeling just absolutely crazy. The airport here was empty. We were the only people there, masks on, like the whole nine. And then we get there and it's just thousands of people.
Yeah.
We were like, it was the most shocking experience ever. And coming back, we had to do the quarantine here. It was so wild.
About that. Yeah. 14-day quarantine.
Yeah. So we were there like going out for margaritas. Yeah. And then we came home, we're like locked in our
kids, we can't talk. I have to go to the basement. Yeah. After that happened, was there any other like major milestones or like things that you're like,
yeah. So after that happened, we got a bunch of other chains in California. And I think proving concept there really helped us start to prove that traction in the US. And then we got listed by Whole Foods in the US. They're huge. Yeah. I mean, that's like...
I say when Whole Food calls.
That's the dream,
that's a
right?
answer,
yeah. So we're in 500 Whole Foods in the US.
Wow.
We're listed in Whole Foods in Canada as well. They've been an amazing partner for us. And then this year, it's been pretty wild because in this year, we've launched Loblaws, Sobeys.
So you're in Loblaws now?
We're in Loblaws now.
Hey, let's go.
We're in Loblaws. We're in Sobeys. We just launched at Harris Teeter in the US
Metro?
as well. Not Metro yet.
No, those French. Those French are hard. Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Put the French labels back on your packages. Yeah.
And then we just launched a pretty big chain in the US called Harris Teeter, which has like over 200 stores.
That's amazing.
So it's been pretty wild.
So where are your sales now?
So we're gonna do probably 2 million this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it took us. We always say, it took us a long time. It took us like 4 years.
So you're selling like 200,000 units a year.
Yeah, so last year we did over 1 million, and this year we're going to double.
Okay.
Which is pretty wild that it feels like it took us 4 years to get to 1 million, and then we're going to double it in 1 year.
That's insane. You guys are like, that's a good story. That's a good story.
Thank you.
So what's next? Like what is the next chapter of growth?
That is a great question. I think we're at an interesting crossroads right now.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even call it a crossroads. We're just, I feel like we're at the precipice of something where simultaneously we're still working on growing our distribution. So growing that door count, obviously getting the larger retailers like a Costco or Publix or those things are, that's definitely something that's on our mind, on our radar. And then also new products. So right now we have, our line of baking mixes similar to that banana bread. We've launched a couple more of those everyday baking items. So we have a coffee cake mix. We have a carrot muffin
always
mix.
Desserts though?
So we have the pizza dough is savory, but yeah, mostly desserts, or we call them snack breads. So like the muffin mixes that are more kind of halfway in between. They're not super sweet. And then we are about to launch a new product. It's a similar kind of muffin mix, and it has some hidden veggies in it. So
that's cool.
That's the teaser I'll give.
All right, yeah.
And then we also now have a line of single serve mug cakes. So we call them instant treats, and they're just like a microwavable brownie or
that's awesome.
Banana muffin. So you can make them in like 2 minutes. And that's been a cool kind of unlock for a bit more of an accessible product for people to make.
Okay.
So no shortage of product ideas. We have lots of product ideas, whether that's still...
Like how many SKUs do you have now?
We have...
Are you impressed by my knowledge of stuff like
that? You know a lot of stuff about the food
industry.
We have 10 SKUs now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the goal is to bring...
13 with the instant treats, yeah.
And that's including the new stuff that you just talked about?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, so it's going to be... I don't know. I love the baking mixes. We have some ideas for more of a prepared product, like a fully consumable product.
Like a microwavable meal or something like that?
Still within the kind of treat category.
Okay.
Unsure of what that will look like exactly, but we're workshopping some
things
right now.
I'm happy to be a taste tester if you need me to
bring you some samples.
Okay, so like obviously congratulations. It's an amazing story, and I feel like next time you and I connect, either you're going to be like doing $10 million a year too, or you're going to have like some private equity like fund in your world as well, which is a great next step. Let's talk about the personal side. Talk to us about what it was like. Like you basically started this business and then got pregnant within the year, or like a year after.
Within 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. So what's that? It's during COVID.
During COVID.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting journey because I think during major lockdown, I didn't have kids, and I really
regret.
I'm very thankful because really? Looking at people who had kids, toddlers who weren't in daycare, it's like I don't know how anyone was working at home. Toddlers aren't doing virtual school, so it would just be. I don't know how you would get anything done.
We had a kid we had a COVID baby, but he was born in oh my God, I should get this right, 2021, right? Like late 2021, July 2021. And we were like, man, we wish we had him a year earlier. Right. Because like when everybody, like we're all home, like I take care of a baby, right?
For sure. I think, this business was like
that was your baby.
100% focus.
You had 2 babies in COVID. I had 2 babies. Yeah.
So I think that was sort of an interesting transition for me of having this business be 100% of my focus,
right,
to then having a baby and being so pulled in multiple directions at all times. I will say I feel very grateful because my mom's an entrepreneur. She's an architect, and she always had her own architecture practice. She always had staff. She either had an office, building that she owned the building, or she had people working in our house. So I grew up seeing such a good model for a mom entrepreneur,
right,
badass businesswoman.
Yeah.
And I don't know, to me, it was actually never even a question. I always just assumed I would be an entrepreneur.
Oh, okay.
Because I watched
you started at 23. Like you were doing stuff at 23 that like that's, I thought I was a young entrepreneur, but I guess you got me beat here.
But I think, now it is really, it's hard, but I would take it 1,000 times over. And even just growing up, like having a mom that she always picked me up from school at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
If I was sick, she could come get me. If she wanted to go for lunch, she could pop out. Like, having
the flexibilities. You're really glamorizing entrepreneurship. Yeah. Which it can be.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes a lot of the time it's dark days in your own head.
For sure. We talk about it a lot where it's like you never quote have to be on, but you're also never fully off.
100%.
And that is the trade. It's like
that's so true.
I don't know if people who work a corporate job, clocking in, clocking out, they're not up at 9 p.m. on a Friday stressing about the product at the border, like or just financial struggles, cash flow, like fundraising, all these things. I don't want to make it seem like those don't keep me up at night, like they do, you know, and it is really hard to feel like you're solely, responsible. Even if you have business partners, you're like, I'm responsible for keeping this
for sure
going.
And it's your reputation and like,
for sure,
it defines you, right? So you don't want to fail.
You don't want to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
Everyone wants a success story.
Yeah,
sure.
That's true. What was since we're talking about all the glamour, let's give people a bit of a dose of reality. What was like the worst or darkest time in building the business? And how'd you get out of it?
Yeah, no, good question. So I think that one of the darkest times was when we launched our new line. So we had our core product of baking mixes. Everything was going well. I felt like we had this well-oiled machine. Things were good. And then we decided to launch this new product, the instant treats, the single serves. And, we were all so excited about this product. I work more on the sales and marketing side. And so I obviously was, and, being a founder, I'm definitely like gung-ho, let's go. I want to launch this thing, get it out there. And I think we heard some whispers from our ops team of like, give us a buffer because things go wrong, And I was like, what? It's like the same product in a smaller package. Like it's going to be fine. And so we launched this product. We shipped out our first, like the influencer packages, nothing like super, we didn't do like a massive launch yet, but I think we launched it and then we launched it on our website. And then my business partner, Emma, lives in LA and she got her package and she opened it up and she went, all the packages are open. There's powder everywhere.
No.
Like I can't describe the way our heart.
And how many did you send out?
Probably 2,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was such a dark
Talk about
day.
A good first impression, eh?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't. And it was also, they're brownie mixes. So it's like coming with like, just like brown powder everywhere. It just looks like dirt. Like it was so terrible. So, because we are so involved, like the founders, especially Emma and I, are really, like the face of the company.
Right.
We crafted an email really from us to the first people that had purchased and explained what had happened. Essentially, we had put tear notches so you could kind of easy open.
Mm-hmm.
And those tear notches were the things that were in transit. I guess the film was slightly too thin. And so the tear notches were opening in transit. And so that was why the powder was leaking out. So, it didn't happen to every package, but we sell them in caddies of 8. Mm-hmm. And I would say almost everybody got a caddy where at least 2 were open. But because it's powder, it just looks like such a mess.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky that there was nothing wrong from a food safety standpoint. Like the ones that were still sealed were totally fine. And so people could still enjoy them. But we obviously, we just basically said we're going to do everything we can to make these customers happy. We replaced, we refunded, we sent them merch. Like we went full in, so apologetic. And like, especially those people who are, the cheerleaders, they're the first ones to order.
They're your performer, like they're your influencers.
Oh, it was just really stressful. Also, I think that part of this all came to a head on, this was the launch. And then the saga continued because basically we couldn't figure out the machine at the facility. It was a new machine for them. And so there were just problems. And the issue was that the film we were using wasn't totally correct. It's typically a machine that's used for making oatmeal packets. So you can picture those more like craft bags. And that craft bag, as much as I love it, it's just that's not the way our brand looks. Right. So we weren't about to change our package to be this craft bag. And on December 23rd, I think we got an email basically saying from our production facility, basically saying like, we can't make this for you anymore. And at this point, now the product has been in market. Yeah. And so now we're like, what do we do? Like we have orders in January. We have retailers who want this. What do we do? And we had to panic find, a new production facility. So we did, but this line of product has been,
Is it working now?
It's working now.
Okay.
It's going great.
Profitable.
We just launched them at Whole Foods in Canada and Fortino's as well, which is like a branch of Loblaw. So they're doing great. It's been a journey.
I mean, I feel like you embody the journey that every entrepreneur goes through. And it's nice to hear these stories because it is a very lonely road, and no matter, at least in my experience, all the well wishes are fantastic and all the excuses that you can make for yourself are there for you to make, but it doesn't change the fact that you either win or lose. Yeah. And that's like the cold-bloodedness of entrepreneurship, but it's also the best part because when you win, it's you, like you won, like your business wins, but you win. And so it feels real good. What is the next, like, I guess like theme or arch that you guys are like to grow this or are you like, this is great and I want to try something completely different that's not this? Like what's next?
Oh, that is a great question. I think just on that note before of like you build this company that feels like an extension of you. Yeah. And sometimes it's really hard to remember that it's not you because there's so many feelings of failure tied up in, if the business fails, I have failed. And I think it's so difficult. That's been my biggest struggle by far is trying to separate, me from the business and it's my name.
Wait till if you ever sell.
Yeah.
When I sold TerraSend, it broke me.
Whoa.
Yeah. You're truly selling a piece of you.
Totally.
And it's like with your name on it, right? So, and then all of a sudden one day you'll like they don't need your help anymore. Your baby has outgrown you. They're off to school. Yeah. And you're an empty nester. So that's like getting caught up in the failures and all, like these are all, when you're going through them, you're like, oh my God, it hurts. It sucks. This. And then somebody pulls it away from you for good reasons. They'll pay you and you're going to be like set for life and all that good stuff. And then you're at least with me, if this happens to you, you can give me a shout. Like, I was just sad.
Yeah.
I was really sad. Yeah. For a long time.
That makes a lot of sense. That is so interesting. I've never heard anyone, you only hear the like, how I built this side of the story.
And I exited for X.
Yeah, and then it was all amazing.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then I went through depression. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think, what's next? It's hard to say because I think the business has changed so much and so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I know for sure is I love my team. I think we've built something really special. There's a lot of very complementary skill sets and not a lot of ego. We've had very few, if any, big disagreements, and we've been able to deal with them really head on. So I kind of feel like there's no problem that we can't solve, which is a very nice feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in the most at the company is really the team.
How big is the team now?
So it's myself, Michelle, Emma, and then we have 2 people on operations.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one of our earliest investors is, a pretty core part of the team as well. And she helps us a lot with our finances.
And it's all females?
There's one man.
Oh.
And he's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good diversity hire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Listen, this has been amazing.
Oh, thank you.
If you could look into the camera, like parting advice for the people that watch this, the young women and men who will watch this and see the story and are inspired.
Oh, that's so nice.
Do your thing.
That one. That's so nice. I would tell anyone starting out that the road is not easy, but I think the best thing you can do is just look at every day like it's an education. You're going to learn something new every single day. I feel like I've just been in school the last 4 years. And I think if you go in with that type of attitude, there's not really anything you can't solve.
I mean, there's no better way to end than on such a wise piece of advice. Stella, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We will post links to your food and the products that you guys have. And obviously we'll maybe we can do like a fun giveaway when we actually launch this thing. Yeah,
for sure. We'll do a package.
But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here. You were an amazing guest. And I have no doubt that this is I feel like we're in chapter 1 or 2 of your story because you guys have so much runway for growth. And I mean, the products that you're doing they resonate very well.
Thank you.
Especially in today's world. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You have one new client and a fan.
Thank you. It was so nice to be here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, that's another episode of the Basem Hanna podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Stella, for being on the show. Stella and Stellar Eats have very kindly offered a discount code to anybody that wants to check out their products. You can go to their website and we'll post the link and put in Basem20 and you'll get 20% off all their products. Thank you so much for doing that. Until next time, thanks.